affects us in the business world. If you look in the business world today, the overwhelming majority of professions today have people in a position where the way to succeed is by taking advantage of the public. I remember when I had, Baruch Hashem, many employees, and you get to meet people and see them, and you see, everybody's fighting to make $1, and you see certain people have certain character traits that are mamash animals. Like the guy is willing to kill the guy next to him if it was legal. Only reason he doesn't kill the guy that just made the sale is because you have to go to jail. Not because he doesn't want to kill him. He wants to kill him, mamash. He closed an account, he didn't. He's so jealous, he's eating his heart so much, he mamash wants to kill the guy. There are certain people in the business world they believe that the only way to succeed is by stepping over everyone on their way. Burning every bridge just to make sure no one else catches up to me. And the way they conduct themselves in business, you can see who has Yirat Shamayim and who doesn't. You can name any profession, and I can tell you how they screw people. If they don't have Yirat Shamayim, it's 100% of the time. If they don't have fear of Hashem, any profession you want, I can tell you how they take advantage of people. Number one, I've seen it. Aside from investing and having employees and investing, I analyze companies for a living. I saw all professions. 2, I use many of them, whether it's real estate brokers, doctors, lawyers, accountants, whoever. I use a lot of different professions. Someone that has experience, Baruch Hashem, it's a good teacher. But it also gave me a very, very critical view of the world. I remember, Baruch Hashem, before I did tshuva, I used to watch TV. And my least favorite show that for some stupid reason I would still watch once in a while was this show about real estate brokers selling real estate. Like $1 million properties or something like that. Like every property was worth a lot of money, and they would sell this, and they would film these these people selling properties. Now I don't know if I'm the only one that got this, but in general, I don't know, those people on TV for sure. But in general, from my experience, real estate brokers are the worst salesmen, most useless salespeople on planet Earth. And the reason why is you actually just watch the show and you can see it. When you want to sell something, what's generally what you want a salesperson, you want to sell something. What's the goal? The goal is to attain the desirable price. You want $1 million. The point is for someone to try to get $1 million for you. Selling, you can do by yourself. You tell the guy, listen, just put a, ad in the paper, selling for $1 million, so whenever someone comes. But obviously it's not easy. So if you want to just sell it, you say, okay, $5. It's worth $1 million, $5, buy it, and you'll have 500 people lining up. So the point of using someone that's so-called professional is so that they provide something that you can't do yourself. But you watch these people. I've seen it from experience and I've saw it in that show. Someone would tell them, listen, I want to sell the property. It didn't matter ever how much the price was, $1 million, $5 million, $500,000. It didn't matter. The first response every single one of the brokers ever had, I think it's a little too high. I think we should sell it for a little less. Every single time. Mamash, same instruction set. All of them went to the same school. All of them say the same exact thing. And it happens in the real world too. The guy wants to get $500,000 for his. Nah, I think you should sell for $425,000. $425,000. It's $75,000. You know how long it takes to make $75,000 on a normal job? Yeah, but you're not going to sell $500,000. It's going to be months before we sell. Okay, so it takes months. No. Oh, maybe the market's going to go down. Maybe this, maybe that. They start scaring the guy into selling now. But why does he want to sell it for less? He makes less commission. What's the incentive? If I sell it below market, if I sell it for less than what it's really worth, it's going to happen in a week. If I sell it for the price that I'm really supposed to sell it as an expert, it'll take me months. Especially if I have zero skills and I'm a horrible salesperson. And that's really what most of these people are. They're horrible salespeople. They don't know how to sell anything. They just know how to advertise something, put it on the internet, put it on something, and tell people, no, this property is worth $1 million, we're selling for $825. Doesn't require any skills. Oh, and come to my open house for free food. So they're party organizers. Same thing happens in the rental market. The guy says, listen, I want to get $3,000 for my property. Ooh, $3,000. It's too high. What too high? You don't even, you analyze the market by the time you got it, you just found out. How do you know it's too high? No, I have experience. You're in the business for 6 months. How do you know it's too high? Because it's the same manual. All of them have the same book. Whatever price he tells you, slash it. 20%, 25%, 30%. Why? Because he probably did his research, and he knows what it's really worth. But you can't sell it for what it's worth because no one's going to buy it right away for what it's worth. People want a discount. The broker wants to make commission. What do you want to wait 6 months for your commission? No, I'd rather get 100% of something today than 50% of something potential higher down the road. I want to get something today, and that's what happens. They flip property, and they do it really, really quickly. That's one. That's why also a lot of these real estate brokers end up living in some of their, for example, if they take, in New York, I know it happens. One of the selling points is that they live in the property where they're selling new apartments in. But the interesting part is, oh no, I live here. I love this property. Okay, so why are you helping everybody sell too? You help them buy, you help them sell. If you love it so much, why don't you tell everybody just buy? Why are you recommending for anyone to sell? You're on both sides of the transaction. So this is one way that, in the real estate world, it's obviously if you are savvy, don't let them run your world. Second, stocks, the stock market and the investment market. I mean, this is not as popular as it used to be, but the business used to be transactional, which means that every time you do a transaction, the broker would charge a commission. So what would most brokers do? They would recommend for the investor to do as many transactions as possible. Even though it's illegal, it's called churning, they'd still find a way to do it. And to churn the account, to constantly make transactions. Why? Because every time they do a transaction, they make money. Even though if you look at any major investor that's really successful, whether it's Warren Buffett or Carl Icahn, and any of these real people that actually made real money in the stock market, they don't trade. They don't do a lot of transactions. They buy something, they hold it for years. So in essence, you're going against the grain. You're going against the better knowledge, the experience, the success. Why? Because you're selfish. Because you want to do transactions. So that's that. Also in the fee-based business that they have, where right now they changed the business model to some extent, where part of the business they get like an annual fee. Instead of transactions, they get an annual fee for whatever money you have. But still, this is another way, another trick that they have, that they found, which in essence is to take part of the money and to make that part of the money transactional. They'll sell them an annuity or some type of an insurance product or something that is transactional, that they make big money on, while they get the other money to make their regular money. Or they just put the money that people give them, millions of dollars, on autopilot. Meaning, all they do is just recruit people to invest money with them, but they don't actually manage the money. So the money manager doesn't actually manage any money. He outsources it to somebody else, but he still gets a whole fee. So again, this is the way it works. In the insurance world, every insurance broker loves insurance, even though sometimes they themselves can't afford it. And they'll always tell you to buy a lot more than what you need. You're worth $1 million? Buy $5 million policy. You have a business, buy disability, buy this, buy that. They're always going to sell you more insurance than you have. Or these scammers also started a new part of the business called life settlements, which pretty much is a way for people to bet on other people dying. So there's a way that you could buy policies of old people. You buy their policies, so you're going to pay the premium every year, and when they die, you collect the death premium. So in essence, the whole time you're cheering for these people to die, which is a very morbid business. It's actually also illegal. The insurance companies don't want to pay, because in the insurance world, not that I'm here to teach you guys, business class, but it's just good to know. You have to have a vested interest in owning a policy, meaning you have to have a vested interest in the guy that actually owns the has the policy, for him to live. You're not supposed to cheer for him to die. So it's also against halakha. Lawyers, oy machshimam. I've never met a lawyer that is a good lawyer, and I've paid them anywhere from a couple $100 to over $1,000 an hour. They're all garbage, every one of them, every single one of them. Even if they have a kippah on their head, they're all garbage. Why? Because all they're going to do is they're going to try to overdo. So you have the real estate guys are underselling, the stock guys are overselling, the insurance guys are causing you to overbuy, the lawyers are causing you to overdo. Meaning, you have a case, you have a simple case, they want to write you a 35-page response. Why? Just write 2 pages, it's enough. You don't need this foreign language that they use. Just write, the guy is a criminal, he did this, 10 bullets, that's it, you finish. What do you need to write a 35-page answer for? Why? Because I get paid $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 for every hour. So the longer I work, the more I can charge. I had one time, this lawyer was on my payroll pretty much, and you talk to people, even though you're paying them $50,000 a month, whatever, you talk to them, you BS. So one time, I don't know, I'm talking to this lawyer, I asked a question, and the question took maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes. But then, I don't know, we just started talking about something personal, nonsense. We spoke for almost an hour. But it's personal, it's not business. I get a bill that she charged me for the hour. She charged me $900 for the hour. That's why she was excited to be on the phone talking about absolutely nothing. She's getting paid for it. That's lawyers. Doctors. Doctors. Doctors of today are very different than doctors of yesterday. Doctors of today are not really that interested, for the most part. Again, this is not a one-size-fits-all. This is not everyone. Obviously, there's always going to be someone that's outside of the klal, outside of the circumstance. There's always going to be a good lawyer. There's always going to be a good doctor. There's always going to be a good broker or a good real estate guy. There's always going to be someone good. But the overall majority, chalta. Doctor, today's doctors, unfortunately, are a factory. In the past, doctors would come to your house. They would sit with you for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours until they know what's going on. They'd commiserate with you. They'd cry with you. They'd give you medicine. They'd see what happens. Today, it's a factory. If you actually spend as much time with the doctor as you do waiting for the doctor, it's already a miracle. You go to the doctor, you wait 45 minutes. By the time you see the doctor, maximum 5 minutes. Why? Because he's busy. Because every patient's $500. Every patient $600, $700, $1,000. So he's thinking, let me have 6 rooms, every hour, $6,000. And that's how it works. And he knows, why does he do it that way? Because he knows that the insurance company is looking for different excuses not to pay him. The insurance world is demented. All parties are trying to screw each other. The insurance company is looking for reasons not to pay. The doctor is going to overcharge because he knows that they're not going to pay. And the patient only wants to buy insurance after he's sick. And the guy that bought the life insurance, it's not even his, it's some other guy. He doesn't even know, he's just waiting for him to die. This is really what this is not just some warped version of, this is reality. This is reality. So the doctor knows that he's going to bill $6,000, but the insurance company is definitely not paying him at least 50%, at least 60%. So really, he's not looking at it as $6,000. He's looking at it as $2,400. So he's like, for me to make $2,400 an hour is already disrespect. So he can't spend more than 5-10 minutes with you. Hey, take antibiotic. Well, I just said I had a cough. Take antibiotic. Go. Rite Aid. Give them your problem. CVS, give them the problem. Yeah, but how do you know this antibiotic is going to work? We don't know it's going to work. Try it for 10 days. And if it doesn't work after 10 days, come back. But if you knew it's going to work, why do you have to tell me to come back? By the way, rule of thumb from experience, if the antibiotic is not effective after 48 hours, it's the wrong antibiotic. A good antibiotic should not heal you, but affect your body within 48 hours. If it does not affect your body in any way, shape, or form within 48 hours, is a wrong antibiotic. And generally, antibiotics are prescribed based on guessing. They're guessing just like you're guessing. There are certain things that are rules of thumb, that a certain antibiotic is good for certain things, but they don't know if that specific one is going to be accepted by your body. They're guessing as much as you're guessing. It's all trial and error. So doctor is going to try to get you out of the office. But also there's another thing that Gemara says about a doctor, that the best of the doctors will go to Gehenom. So why would the best of doctors go to Gehenom if he's healing people?
Thinks he's healing them.
No, it could be a pshat that you could mean that he thinks he's healing them, but no, the best of doctors is going to Gehenom is because everybody on Rosh Hashanah prays. Everyone prays on Rosh Hashanah. What does everybody pray for? What is the prayer that every single human being on earth prays for? Parnasah. Lawyers praying for Parnasah. Doctors praying for Parnasah. The muffler guys praying for Parnasah. Everybody's praying for Parnasah. Now, when the doctor that's the most successful prays for Parnasah, now why is he the most successful? Because he has the most amount of patients. So now when he prays for more Parnasah, that means he wants even more patients, which means he wants more people to be sick. You want more people to go be sick, go to Gehenom. So, obviously, this is just a parable to some extent.
How come it says afterwards, kasher shebatabachim, shutafo shel Amalek?
Kasher shebatabachim?
The righteous in the tabachim,
right,
shutafo shel Amalek.
Is a
What is the
righteous of the I don't know the pshat of that one. I don't know. Next one, programming. People that are in the programming business, generally the nature of someone that's behind a screen is convenience. The reason why people love Amazon or eBay or any of those things that are on the internet is because it created convenience. You don't have to go to the supermarket anymore. You don't have to go to the store anymore. You can just press a few buttons and it gets to your house. Trust me, we take advantage of that service as often as we possibly can. It's very convenient. But also, the profession of being behind a screen means that you are in a business of convenience. The people that, created, for example, Facebook, they're trying to make friendship convenient. They're trying to make marketing convenient. The people that created Google, they're trying to make search convenient. The whole point is convenience. So the people that are programmers also have this mentality of convenience. So anything that's inconvenient is intolerable to them. So that's why the general nature that I've seen from experience from programmers is they like quick jobs. They like things that are quick. They're done quickly. They don't like long-standing, long-term projects. They like things that are quick, a week, 2 weeks, a month max, month and a half, that's it. After that, they're either quitting or they can't take it. And it's a very, very problematic to deal with them. I've had some really bad experience with them. Construction. I've never met someone that's truly happy with a construction person. And the reason why is because construction people, for some reason or another, their nature is to provide unfinished work. You'll see $1 million house, but it's missing a kitchen table, or the kitchen counter, or it's missing the bathroom. There's like a few rocks missing from the wall. Every house I've ever seen always has this, like missing pieces. What happened? No, the guy said he came to finish, but he didn't come. Why? Because you already paid him. Once you paid him, he's not coming back. Network marketing. You guys ever hear about pyramid schemes? When people sell something in order to somebody so he could sell it. So let's say, for example, you want Herbalife, this rotten company that convinces people that they're going to become rich by selling their product, healthy and rich. In reality, they're the only ones that get rich, and not everybody gets healthy. There's actually a very respectable hedge fund manager called Bill Ackman that's been going against them for years already. It's a famous battle, and the point is that he proved that the whole business in general, by definition, is corrupt. Problem is that people are so enticed by money, they don't care about the fact that most people under them are going to lose. This is how warped our reality is. This is how strong our Yetzirah is. And the key of saying all of this is to sum it up this way. We sum up the entire shiur this way. The real estate guy is always going to convince you to undersell. $1 million property, sell it for $800,000. Why? Because he can make quick commission. The stockbroker, the investment guy is always going to make you or convince you to make many more transactions than you need to. Why? Because he needs to make his commission. The insurance guy is going to sell you a lot more insurance than you actually need. And it also makes it very difficult for you to actually collect when it's time to collect. Or he's going to sell you something that you don't even want, because in essence, for you to wish for somebody else to die by buying a life settlement, it's against halakha. Next thing is the lawyer. The lawyer is always going to make you overdue. You have a $5,000 case, he's going to turn it into a $35,000 case. That's just their nature. Why? Because they need to make money. The doctor is going to treat you like it's a factory. He's not going to spend that quality time, for the most part, that you want. And the reason why is because he doesn't actually care that you're sick. You care that you're sick. He cares about money. And again, yes, there are some good doctors in the world. There are some that actually care that you're sick. But again, this is a general rule of thumb. When it comes down to dealing with these professions, this is the stuff to look for. Who not to deal with. Programming people, obviously, anyone that I've actually dealt with, usually when they do the job for free, they're the best. As soon as they charge money for it, it's terrible. And the reason why is because usually when someone is interning or is providing a service for free, it's because they're passionate about what they do. Whereas as soon as you pay somebody something, immediately the passion disappears and disintegrates into thin air, and money, the yetzirah of money shows up. Network marketing or construction, we talked about construction, obviously it's unfinished work, and network marketing is just a corrupt business. So now, what does this have to do with us with this whole shiur? Is that if you notice, every single one of these things, all of these flaws are fixable. The real estate guy can actually train himself and become a real good salesman and actually sell the property for what you want. That's the point of using him. He can get you the property for what you want. If you're buying, to buy it for less. If you're selling, to sell it for more. That's the point of being a professional. The stock guy can focus more on the investments and provide you the service that he says that he's going to try. Of course, there's going to be times that he's going to lose. There's going to be times that he's going to win. But the point is, at least he's going to do his best. Even though I've had many clients that have made money over the years, I've also had clients that lost a lot of money with me at some point. The point is, no one could ever say, I didn't try my best. Even at the end, when everything blew up in my face, the one thing that everyone knew is that I was my own biggest client. So you can't say I didn't believe in what I sold. Okay, yeah, you lost money. Sure, I lost a lot more than you. I lost more than everybody. You lost 100,000, you lost 200,000, you lost 500,000. Okay, great. I lost millions. I was my biggest client. So I didn't do what I did because it was just making money off of you. I believed in what we were doing. If you have a guy like that, that's who you deal with. That's who I would deal with. Insurance guy, you have to always get 3, 4, 5 opinions before you buy insurance. Because generally, most of them follow the same sell system. They're always going to try to oversell you and pretty much, but at some point, some people see that if you have multiple opinions, they're going to come back more to reality. Stay away from certain parts of that insurance business. Lawyers, my personal opinion, unless you have a major corporation, you pretty much don't care about money, deal with small lawyers. Deal with small shops and also have the agreements ahead of time. Don't do these things where they charge you by the hour. You have a case that you know the case is going to last for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Make a deal with the guy that there's a cap. It can't be more than 10,000. It can't be more than 20,000. It can't be more than 30,000. Don't be one of these clients like I used to be. Who's like, whatever it costs, I'll pay you. Why? Because that's exactly what they're going to do. Whatever it costs, they're going to charge you 10, 20, 30, 40,000 a month. As long as you're paying, it's what it costs. Doctor. It's hard to find a good doctor these days because it means they actually have to care. But ultimately, you see that each one of these things is all fixable. How can you fix all of it? Yirat Shamayim. As soon as you know there's an eye that's watching, you're not going to undersell anyone. Because you know it's not ethical to sell something that's worth $1 million, to sell something that's worth 100,000 for 80,000, just because you're not patient. It's not ethical. It's not ethical to overcharge a guy. It's not ethical to oversell a guy. It's not ethical to sell him things that he doesn't need. It's not ethical to deal with people like they're a cattle. It's not ethical. As soon as you know there's an eye that's watching, everything changes. But Hashem knows that most people in the business world have such a big yetzer hara for money that they don't look upstairs. They don't look upstairs. They don't look at Shamayim. So he said, okay, you know what? You're not going to look up there, so at least I'll put a government down here. So he made certain laws where those laws tame us. They don't make anyone honest, but they contain them. And that's what the essence of this Mishnah is. It says, yes, in essence, you're supposed to be afraid of the Malchut of Shamayim. You're supposed to be afraid of the Malchut of Shamayim. But because you're probably not, Hashem put the Malchut here in this world. Because if He didn't, you'd swallow your friend whole. Any questions? Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.